All right. So, I think I am good. Okay. So, why don't I get the video going? Okay. Okay. How's the audio? Okay. How's the audio? Say it's sufficient. So let me do some posts. And then I was sent these. Not bad. Someone likes to send me a lot of music, and a lot of it's really good. Interesting. So it's 2 variants. That's useful. Can make use of something like that. Potentially. Yeah, if anytime I stream, if anyone's like curious what this huge block is I hear, it's always just music that I either have because I'm going to listen to or I have for my quest. So, yeah. Anyway, so tonight I will be trying to do a lot on level 9. However, I am actually kind of... So, I've been sort of redoing older areas. So, let's actually get some music going here so that it's not just dead silent. Alright, well, it would probably help if I unmuted. Let's not have the... Shoot. Not have the C sounds. Okay. I like the C sound. It's just I don't need to listen to it on repeat. You're never on the coast for that long, so it's not like it's that annoying. Anyway, so I've been redoing some areas. Cooperative Forest saw some pretty big enhancements yesterday. Sort of on the same vein of how, like, I've redone older, like, level 1 had an overhaul, Isle of Heron had an overhaul. A lot of stuff from like the very, very early days of quest development, which was basically Isle of Heron level 1, and most of this overworld. The plains area here got a huge overhaul a few years ago. And then of course the quarry didn't always exist. I think all the way back to like Sven's playthrough of Demo 2, this was still just like a plains aesthetic, and I've since made it look like a quarry, more a mine. But of all that, Cooperative Forest was untouched. I hadn't updated it. The coasts technically have gotten updates, so there's that. The desert I haven't even touched. Now, granted, that was because I didn't get to that part of the quest yet. Like, there was no reason to work on any of this. I might try to, now that I know that there's not going to be a dungeon, like, in this part of the desert. You have this, obviously, right here, but the rest of this isn't going to. And then I do want to do enhancements on Swai Plains, just because it feels bland to me, kind of meh. It needs more. Like this whole central portion with the trees, I can definitely do a lot more with this. I did always like how I have... Like, you can kind of see how the water behaves in this overworld, and there actually is, like, a movement here, where a lot of it's coming from Mount Sumus to the north, and it all kind of, like, eventually, like, there's no connection between this and this, Fun fact, I actually have been finding myself enjoying watching Annie Austin and his analyses of mundane things, like the rivers in games, but it's actually been giving me, like, making me think, like, my rivers should probably have some kind of logic to them, considering then the landscape could kind of move with it, which will give it a more in-depth landscape, which I think is actually good. So just, like, considering that, like, okay, I mean, even though these don't connect right here yet, and I am saying yet, you can already see that there is kind of a flow down. And I didn't even really realize that I did it this way, and it's kind of cool how there's a huge elevation change. You got the Sumus Mountains, and then it starts going down, and then you see the walls here, it's going down further, and then you have these tall walls going down further. You're literally approaching sea level as you go south. And then, of course, then you hit sea level. But, yeah. So, I'd like to redo these plains. But yeah, so I did Cooperative Forest, so if you want to just get a quick look here. This is also for posterity for myself, that I can see that this is when I redid this. All the caves and any secrets are in the exact same place. I just simply redid the region around it. And a big trend with the older areas of my quest that really stands out is I seem to think that walls were what is required to dictate the flow through an area, when you also have things like trees and water that can do the same thing. Trees are some liquid. Sort of just enhancing that. I'm actually gonna... But I do want to touch on level 9 in this one as well. Working on the desert here, I don't think will take too long. That's if I even feel like doing it, which I'm kind of thinking, I kind of want to work on level 9. Or at the very least, like, I could almost do some of this. Let's work on level 9. Okay, so I do have this screen up because, of course, as those who have played Demo 4 and I think even Demo 3 would know, I don't know if Demo 3 had Southwest. I think it did. You get put in the Necromancer's dungeon at the end of Demo 3, or like whatever it was, at some point after level 3. So obviously I've had to update this with what it looks like in level 9, which is right here, by the way. Like, this is literally this screen. Exactly the same. So obviously the script with right hand, when he comes down, talks to you, and leaves, this is not here anymore. So I'm gonna need to change that script to where he comes up, does this, and goes back down instead of coming down and going back up. So anyway, yes, level 9 is here, and it is big, and there's a lot going on. I'm kind of doing it where instead of just one monolithic dungeon, I mean, it is one monolithic dungeon, but the way it's sort of presented is that it's broken up into like sub portions. And oddly enough, what I've had a lot in my mind when designing this dungeon and what's like inspiring me is actually yeah, I think it was Legend of Link New Legacy with that level 9, and how that one felt very sort of segmented. Anyway, so doing this the way I would typically do this, walking through here, these two stairs come from down under in the dungeons, and you do get the long shot here. So your main points of blocking for the dungeon item are situations like this where you need a long shot to pass. So doing standard fashion, I'm walking through here. Oh, yeah. Also, so each of these areas of level 9 are sub-regions. So as you can see, level 9 is big, but specifically you have very purposed regions. So you have an and like you would expect in a typical castle, armory, barracks, chapel, dungeon. You got some towers, you got a library, you got a main hall. And each of those regions are gonna sort of have that theme. Like this, we're in the library right now, so there's gonna be a lot of bookshelves here, like you see here, and it's actually gonna be relevant to dungeon flow, as you can see here. You're gonna have your sort of super secret, like pull the book from the shelf to trigger things going on here. Trying to do unique stuff instead of always just a typical hit a switch or bomb a wall, you know. Hey, Soma. Alright, sounds good. Anyway, so sort of walking through my flow. The dungeon is somewhat linear so far, but the dungeon's gonna greatly expand once you get the long shot, of course. But even before that. Okay. So. And specifically, so like going through here, it is very linear. I wanted to start branching out here. This staircase goes into the towers, so also the towers that you see on level 9. Here's level 9, so you have 1, 2, 3 towers. They are actually like a thing, so you know. Let's not have that music playing when we have level 9. Let's listen to level 9 music. Which I haven't... So, that's the other thing, too. I said level 9 is going to have Dracula's Castle. It's actually going to have a lot of music. Not just Dracula's Castle. But just for now, we're going to pull up some Dracula's Castle. Alright. Just to get us in the mood of Big Bad Castle Dungeon. Also, fun fact, I actually fleshed out my ideas for like endings and the final boss. Just kind of a fun thing to mention. I have actually sort of figured that out. So when I get to the final, and also the final dungeons, so to speak, the post-game dungeons also figured out. Like, when I say figured out, I mean like what it's going to be. I obviously haven't worked on any of that. I'm quite a ways off from even thinking about working on any of that. But again, just for posterity of like, for looking back at these streams, this is the time where I've, like, it was today that I figured out what I'm doing there. Shoot. It's so crazy working on this on my PC, which I don't do much anymore. Having my monitors is so nice. I can actually work on it in the 3x3 view. So much bigger. These are not the tiles it's going to necessarily be. I mean, these tiles will exist, but just sort of. Placing them wherever right now. It's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. It just gets hard when it's a sea of the same combo. It's nice to sometimes do this so that I can actually have a distinction. Yeah, makes it a little easier to see than when it's just a sea of the same thing. Kitty. I hope to have level 9 completely done, meaning all the scripted stuff as well, by, like, basically in December, which means, you know, starting on the last 2 smaller dungeons in January, February, and then hopefully, like I said, March has been kind of my ballpark to be done. Dracula's Castle-esque. Actually, in a way, yeah, it is. Like, from a Castlevania perspective, oddly enough. I'm going to leave this screen wide open like this. I try to do this where I leave screens just like big wide open spaces that I can go back to and fill in with whatever I want. Oh, and this is the big hub area. Level 9 will end up becoming a sort of hub after you finish the main events here. And this is where that's going to be. This is the main entrance right here. So you can see that took me there. And it's all regions, and it works very well like this, so I'm very happy about that. Oh, I should have my notebook on me. Here, I'm gonna be right back. Bug's going in my chair, which is fine except for when I move. So I've actually had to refer to my notebook a lot because there is so many maps and I need to actually keep in mind what connects to what. So one thing I wanted to make sure of, oh, and I think I did already actually. Yeah, so this is the long shot, which, as you would expect, the dungeon item is obtained in the armory. Okay, yeah, so that's the armory, and this is the main hall. Okay. Yeah, level 9 is going to be big. It's going to be very big. Okay, so this is going to be a sort of return trip to the main hub. But you're also going to need a shortcut that's going to let you hook shot, but it's not going to be worth anything until... Because I don't think you can reach that with the hook shot. You need the long shot. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So the way you're actually going is this way, and this is where I want to have a divergence. Like probably over here somewhere. So you're going to go through like a gauntlet of sorts here. Big and complex enough to even trick some players into thinking this will be the final level. There is a bad ending. Okay, also, so this kind of goes along. So how I said that I figured out the final boss situation and the endings today, that was actually kind of a big revelation, because you know what that revelation revealed? I think levels 10, 11, 12 will be optional. Thinking at it from this perspective of how you don't, at any point in this quest, need to grab a Triforce to beat the game. You do not. You could skip every single Triforce. Because I made sure that there's nothing that does any checks on that. I'm not doing any logic that makes sure, like, this triggers if you have Triforce. There's none of that. So, the game will be in a state, like the story events that occur once you've beat level 9, and the story significance of beating level 9, the game will be in a state where you can beat the final boss. Which, if you choose to do that, like, you could 100% my quest up until level 9, but if you choose to beat the game right after level 9, bad ending. Like, you could literally do everything else, bad ending, if you don't beat the other dungeons. And specifically grab the other Triforce. So to a certain degree, what you're saying, Soma, is what's gonna happen. Like, it will give you a bad ending, basically. The other thing I need to figure out is not only the other towers, but I have a staircase here and here. So this needs to be in the library. The library needs to have... And the library looks like... This is the library. Apparently I didn't have this on loop. Hello. I started to run out. I think that's what the staircase is. Yeah, because actually these staircases lead to these. It doesn't lead to the spires. So actually the Great Hall having a stair... I also just kind of put staircases up here. I don't necessarily need to have stairs up there. So the library having one, the Great Hall having one doesn't really make sense. What is this? This is the library. This is the Great Hall. So the Great Hall isn't gonna have a staircase here. Oops. Include a grand staircase that might go up through several floors. Well, that's awkward because there's only 2 floors. There's not many floors in this. It's big horizontally, not vertically. I mean, the spire could have that. Spire, because there's going to be 2 watchtowers which are going to be tiny, and then a spire which has 2 floors in and of itself. I can see if I could work in a grand stair somehow. The Great Hall will go down into the armory. I have an idea. Where am I on the map? Ooh, this is actually perfect. Oh no, well, this is a little too perfect. This screen, I think, is perfectly above where the long shot is, right? No, this screen is. Yeah. That's literally where the long... That leads to this screen, and this is the long shot. Interesting. Oh, that's perfect. You come from this way into here, get the long shot, come out, and then you immediately get a shortcut out, and also to the main hub. Ah, okay. We figured out where the long shot's... how you're getting to it. I believe these are my... Are these direct warp pits? I'd like a direct warp pit. I could just go here. Direct warp 0. Allow ladder. Alright, where's my fake pit? There we go. Yeah, there's nothing above the Great Hall. Okay. So that'll be that. I kind of don't want to go with the pit strategy. I do that a lot in my quests. Better yet, how about we do this? There we go. That more does what I want. So they spiral to the right, which means these need to come from the left. BA. Fitting in Garibaldi temple theme. I don't know. I haven't thought about music at all, aside from the fact that there's gonna be multiple tracks. So I don't know at all what I'm doing for music yet. Alright. Anyway, so that's that. So now we got that settled. What actually is Garibaldi's that theme? Is it the temple or the courtyard? Because there was one that you mentioned that I ended up putting in the dungeon. I mean, that could be the library theme. I can no longer play this. Why is Chrome just frozen? What the heck is going on, Chrome? Figure your life out. Jeez. That could be the library theme. Yeah, it sounds good for a library, which is why I thought of it. So yeah, I can do that. Alright, so let's recap. So we come in through here. You're seeing stuff, but you can't do anything about it yet. Then this path up here is like a whole separate shebang. Not even worrying about it. And then this path down here is like a shortcut back. Or it's like a way back. Also a way to the center. So we're worrying about this path here. Oh, that wall just kind of inexplicably ends there, I see. I mean, what if these just connected? No, I see why I connected that now. That's all on the same layer. Crap, man. That just doesn't work. It's all on the same layer. Sort of back myself into a corner, it would appear. I mean, I could use pits, but I like the idea of using walls here. Okay, so this needs to be like it's a separate wall somehow. Somehow this needs to be a separate wall. But that looks weird because it's on the same layer. Unless it's not. I mean, it quite simply could just not be. So all this is on the same layer. I mean... Very quickly found myself in a bad spot. Stuck with walls. I'd like some degree of symmetry here too, which is what I'm trying to... kind of working out. Or I could just not do it this way. Let's not do it that way. because now it makes these walls unequal. Well, that actually worked out. Look at that. All right. So that means ultimately to get so you're coming in from this way, and ultimately to get the hook shot, you got to come down here. That would have to be with a bridge. What the heck? Alright, apparently when you're in 3x3, that's very off. Yep, so now we have a bridge. No hookshot spot required. So now we just need to keep in mind this is a going this way path, and this is a going this way path. And then this is just a path. Alright, sounds good. I definitely won't be on that long, but sounds good. I actually really like these narrow corridors, considering that's what a lot of castles actually have. So I think that works out really neatly. Yeah, gun on the desk. Okay. Okay, so that actually does a screen transition. Yeah. So this is main hall, so this means this goes to the chapel. What? Scrolling warp, chapel. Why isn't it going? Oh shoot, the D map's not set up right. Yeah, there we go. This was set up right. This goes to Great. I call it Great Hall in my notebook, but it's actually Main Hall. Alright. So now we have that transition done. That was good. All right. I want to make like a hub area up here soon. I'm thinking like somewhere in this vicinity. I'm also thinking, I think a lot of my rooms are too small. I need to have some rooms that are a little bit bigger. I've noticed that. I tend to make rooms very small. I want to start trying to make them a little bit bigger. She got on my desk once. More or less, I think. Alright, so this room is going to go off into this direction. Oh, wait, did I remove a staircase up here? Shoot, I should not have. That staircase was actually for the... Oh, wait, no, that wasn't upstairs. No, yeah, that should have been removed. Okay. This looks a little strange so far. It's a lot of paths just going left and right. I mean, I guess the main hall would just be like a traversal map, kind of a hub. You know, it would literally be a hub. But then, yeah, it starts getting more complicated once you go to the other areas, like in here. Like, obviously, it's a lot less just simple traversal. There's more actual things going on. Yeah, so like I said, I want this to be sort of like a hubish sort of area here. Some larger screens. Yeah, so again, this route here is ultimately what gets you to the hook shot, the long shot. And then this one here, which I said is going to go to this hub, will be the path that you first enter in. But now the dungeon starts to get a little bit more spread out. Or like less linear, sort of. So I actually think I want this screen going down. So I think this screen right here might... Oh, shoot. Put my foot down on a kitty. Yikes. Okay, so how do I want to do this? By hub, I mean just kind of like... We have a couple of different directions here. These walls are all going to stay here, and I think it would actually make sense if they just connected here. Which is literally what they do on this side, aside from the stairs. So that actually works out well. So I can make a way to get up here. Or I guess it wouldn't be that way. It would be like... Hmm. There we go. I like that. So you get that as an option. Then perhaps get something like this. Like, I want a lot of routes here. Oh, that hurt. I have a spazzing kitten that randomly gets to decide that my feet is a toy. Okay, that made me jump, actually. God, that's not ready to get clawed in the foot. Good thing I'm wearing socks. That would have hurt a lot more if I was wearing socks. Anyway. I kind of want this to be here, actually. And then put this like this. There we go. Because now I can put like a shutter there or some kind of barrier. Heck, it could be a long... Ooh, hang on. Actually, wait. Let me redo that. Let's move this down. You cannot go this way until you have long shot. Yeah. I like that idea. Which means I'm going to need some pits. It's the easiest way to have like a long shot situation. Easy enough. I believe my hookshot spots are... Thought they were in this vicinity. Here they are. So this will just be a big shortcut, basically. There. That looks good. Yeah, I like that. Because that's six spaces. I think that's out of range. Obviously not from the hook shot or the long shot. Not even close. Okay. Cool. Because that gets you into this, which I can't let you in yet. This is just going to be some sort of, like, combat room or something. Maybe the map. Maybe the compass. Who really knows? Because I don't know yet. And I won't know until much later. Cool. So that leads you there. I don't have any, like... I haven't done this at all in my quest yet. Like, big, wide open battle rooms. Those are always a good time, you know? Everyone likes a big open battle room. This isn't even, like, completely open. There, now it's a big open battle room. Nice big open battle room. But perhaps that battle room gets you access to over here. Shoot. I guess this is the part of the dungeon where I'm feeling like battle rooms. I mean, it can be a battle room, it could be a block puzzle, who really knows? Once again, I'm not the one to ask, I have no idea. I'm just throwing things together at this point. It's basically how this process works. It's just throw things together and see if it works. Okay. Oh, hang on. Wait. I need to pay attention. This column here is actually the library map. So what I did here wouldn't really work. Because you'd be trying... I mean, it actually would. It may be the library. Like, by technical DMAP, but... it's all one thing. I just need to make sure that I... do this. Uh-huh. That was real cute. What did I mess up? What? Oh, chapel. Whoops. Not the library, the chapel. That's why that took me somewhere it should not have. So you go back and forth between the main hall and the chapel often, it seems. This is main. Did I mess that up? Yeah, I thought I did. I thought I may have clicked the wrong thing. Also, what DMAP is that? 108. Alright. Just make my life a little easier. And it takes you to the bottom. I was holding control with the arrow keys there, and it was just make sure it wasn't whisking me off somewhere it shouldn't have. So trying to keep track of the original two routes. This is you coming in. This is you going to the hook shot. Lost sight of the kitty, but that's fine. So long as she's not on my desk. Or my other desk. Okay. So obviously this is where the dungeon gets very non-linear. So it's been very linear thus far. Now it gets very, very much open. Because now we can go down to here. More importantly, we can go down here and left here or left here. In terms of this path, I think it would be fair that you have to go around the chapel. So this actually goes completely the opposite direction. The complete opposite direction. And perhaps even this path sort of diverges. You get two separate. So now, okay, I need to sort of like rewire my brain. This is a chapel now. Now, granted, that only truly affects the center here. That's where it's just going to be like a big, you know, chapel. Yeah. Good lord. My accuracy is terrible right now. Intentionally trying to keep it super keep things super basic and open, like not really biasing any given room. Like even the rooms that I said that would be like combat rooms, I don't know what they're gonna be. I can make them anything, and that's kind of how I like doing it. Keep it vague what each room could be, and then let the me that's like actually setting things up properly determine what things are going to be. Okay, so these are two outgoing routes. Let's revisit this situation. What if this path simply unlocks a thing for that? said, I wanted to just touch on that again. So this one will take you actually take you into the chapel. This other one, in fact, yeah, that's how I'm gonna do this. So the top path is gonna be what actually gets you into the chapel. The bottom path is what is going to get you into the barracks, which is the on the floor below. Yeah, there's gonna be some big baddies down there. Probably. Who am I to say? Yeah, so this is gonna go. So this top path is gonna terminate up here. This bottom path, at least one of them, is gonna flow this way. And I'm thinking the barracks stairs are gonna be up here because that's how I did the. Yeah, that's how I'm going down to the armory. Basically, I want the ways. These are higher floors to go down to the lower floors is from the top center. So somewhere up here. Whoa. The heck is this screen? What? One 1670-1675E. Why is this, like, you can see these screens. Why is it 00? Not 5E? What the heck? You can even see here. What happened here? Okay, my layers decided to just do whatever they wanted, I guess. I don't know. I automatically set up each map in its entirety, so I don't know why that particular one decided to be like that. Anyway, that was moderately confusing. Thinking the screen. God dang it. Oh my god. Okay, let's have some amount of, control over my own hand, please. Why are you so crazy? My kitten's name is Piper, and she's absolutely losing her mind. And she's continuing to attack my leg. Just to be clear, I love cats. I'm just joking around with her. I adore cats. I grew up with them my whole life. In fact, if anyone... Ow! Okay. If anyone's seen my original Alva Birth playthrough, one of our cats, Holly, actually purred into my microphone. It was while I was in level 8. Like, she literally purred in the mic. You hear the rumbling. And I just thought that was absolutely adorable. Because I used to... When we first started YouTube, I used to do everything just sitting on my bed in my parents' house when I wasn't at school. When I was in college, I would sit on my bed in my dorm. Obviously, we didn't have a cat there, but whenever I was home for a break, a vacation or something, I would just be in my bedroom, sitting on my bed, and Holly liked being in there with me. So you would just randomly... How many times did I, in those videos, say, just a second, I need to open/close my door, because she constantly wanted in and then out of my room, because she just didn't like doors being closed. I should say doesn't, because she's still alive. She does not like doors being closed, so just simply me having my door closed, which obviously I did because I recorded late at night, didn't want to be bothering my parents when they slept in the neighboring bedroom. So I would close my door, and then she would be like meowing and scratching at the door because she no like door closed. So during the video, I would repeatedly be like, oh, have to open and close my door. Then she'd come in, she'd lay on the bed, I'd close the door, and then she suddenly was like, hey, open that up again. I need to find the purring video. I was in level 8, episode 43, maybe? I know it was the 40s. I just don't remember which video in particular it was. Okay, this dungeon is starting to get more complicated with more branching paths, which is exactly what I want. Things get complicated. I'm finally able to not have to, like, stifle my creativity by, like, ugh, this is only level 4, I can't let it be a huge dungeon. I like how I use level 4 as an example, despite the fact level 4 is huge. But I can, like, this is actually the scale of dungeon I've wanted to create. Fine at some point. Yeah, I know, it's one of them. But yeah, it's nice to actually be at the point in my quest where I can create the giant dungeons. Hopefully I do them well, and that they're not tedious or anything. That they're actually fun. Okay. Hi. You like my foot there? Okay. Yep, she likes my foot. This is the screen, which this path can actually dominate the screen, since stop it. You literally have a toy. Why do you need my foot? Hey, pig. Okay, my God. Play with your toy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's got this mouse. This is one of her favorite toys. Alright, I threw it. I have no idea where it went, but it's out of the office. How you doing, pig? Oh, I'm actually really glad you joined, pig. I absolutely loved your first video of Demo 5. You found so many things. You found, and I found so many things that I didn't even, like, think about. Also, I need to sort of keep my head in check here, because there's so many now. I'm, like, getting to so many branching paths now. I literally have, I think, 4 now. 1 path, 2 path, 3 path, 4 paths. I have four different paths here. I wanted complex. And I'm getting it. I'm just gonna not move my foot to the best of my ability, and hopefully she will not claw it again. We just trimmed her nails. We don't believe in declawing. So she's always gonna have claws. So it hurts when she actually claws it. If I just don't move my foot, she won't notice. But yeah, can't wait for episode 2. Fun fact, Pig, it's your playthrough that was sort of the final straw for me that made me redo Compura Forest. Because I had already been debating it, and it was your playthrough, or I was watching you play through it. You were questioning why certain trees existed in certain places, and I even commented on your video saying, well, they're shortcuts. But I was like thinking to myself, like, yeah, the shortcuts are not really like that valuable. And like I said, I had already been debating it. And yeah. So yeah. So that would mean these two paths converge. To add an Isle of Heron. I'm sure if you remember my explanation. Yeah, you said that you had some kind of weird save issue. I mean, I had never heard of that, so I don't really know what to say about it. I don't know. I've never heard of such an issue where your saves get overwritten. It almost sounds like you had like a save state issue in like an emulator, where if you do a hard save in a save state, sometimes they get like confused. I've never heard of that though. Next one tomorrow, fantastic. I look forward to it greatly. Yeah, I enjoyed the crap out of it. I just enjoy seeing different perspectives playing the quest. So it's a ton of fun. Oh hey, guess what? This can actually be like a hookshot thing. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. I just realized these are like one page off. Ooh, that's quite far. Because what I okay. Sorry about that. Paw to the foot. She's really enjoying being under my chair right now, so. And she has her favorite mouse, so it's kind of a war zone. She's not even like really attacking my foot. It's just my foot's collateral. I need a hookshot spot. Should be coming up here. There we go. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Then again, when she loses her mind like this, anything near her becomes a target. Right. Hey, the D-map, the thing actually recognized the correct D-map. What do you know? I can't... Okay, I couldn't access cheats for a second. It wasn't activating. She keeps knocking her head on my chair. Good lord. Alright, so this needs to be She is absolutely spazzing right now. I keep hearing like a knocking sound. It's literally just her banging her head up against the... Oh, okay. With the chair. You do your thing up here, blah, blah, blah. And then do I want you to be able to... Because if I make it to where you can get to this path from here, then it kind of nullifies the whole going that way. So I don't think that makes sense. I could always expand this. And then do something like this. Then you literally can't hookshot for that. And then I can do that. And then just do this so that... Because like it's always annoying when you have like something solid right up against a screen transition and then you enter and then you need to like squirm your way around. It's actually kind of a pet peeve of mine that I don't know how much I've commented on in Let's Plays, but it's a pet peeve of mine. So like if I didn't put this wall here, you would like, let's say you enter the screen from here, you'd come in here and then you'd be stuck behind this hookshot spot and have to go down, and it's just a pet peeve, so I try not to do that anywhere in my quest. So like I'll do even small stuff like that. Oh god dang it. We just trimmed her nails a couple weeks ago. I don't know why they're so sharp. Actually, I do know why they're so sharp. She's a kitten. Okay, let go. I lifted my leg and I almost pulled her up with it. Hey, this is a cool looking room, I think. Although my desire for it to be symmetrical is... Yeah, I mean, it really can't be symmetrical because I want you to go through here with the standard hookshot. Well, hang on. I haven't made it to where you can go back down yet. Because see, now this is another scenario. So I would need to, like, do the same thing here. To make it to where you don't, like, just bonk face first into that. See, I didn't love these screens. I just felt they were kind of bland. But now these are when it gets fun. I enjoy it when it gets more interesting. Okay, I think this whole room, this whole scenario works. This whole situation. Okay, so that's pretty easy to navigate. Granted, now you can access that. However, I actually can put that in the corner, I think. And I think you can still reach it. I can't wait till after I finish level 9 and you actually have the long shot and I don't need to constantly do this when testing. Yeah, easily you can reach that. Brilliant. All right. So that path kind of dies there then. So you go from having 1, 2, 3, 4 paths, one going into the chapel, 2 this, like the second one dies out here, and then you have 2 more continuing on this way. This is sort of a narrow corridor. Oh, but one thing I specifically really, aside from your new perspective, Pig, about for my demo, one thing I also very much like is how you take it slower. And I feel like you're very meticulous in how you go about things. I've been enjoying that aspect as well. I get like a sense of meticulousness, if that's a word, from your play style, which is good. it's different. It's certainly very different than how I play it, which is cool. Okay, also something I didn't check. Oh, I just didn't even get to that point yet. Because you need the long shot to even touch that. Because now that we're over here, we're getting to where things are going to start wrapping around. So that goes down to the barracks. And the intention for each of these areas is each sub area is going to give you, I believe I have it set, or I've planned that it's going to be a key. So yeah, I don't know. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, each sub-region is going to have like a key. I don't know, I guess that's just where I was going with that. Kind of want this to be another sort of like hub region. Just when I say hub region, in case it's not clear, I just mean a room that has that has some branching paths. And then also what you have are these, so in the library and in the chapel here, you have these little offshoot rooms. These actually are going to connect, I don't think I have the DMAP set up, but they're going to connect to the, oh I do, the gates. So actually in this case, this goes to the northwest gate, right here. Yeah. Which are gonna, these gatehouses, the northwest and northeast are accessed by the chapel and the library through these, and those are what takes you out to like this and this, but then you also have this and this. So the northwest and the northeast you come out of. And those ultimately unlock the southeast, southwest, respectively, which give you a monstrous shortcut into the dungeon. Because basically, once you unlock the northwest, southwest gatehouses, you can enter level 9 from out here, which is just a few screens away from Cello Village, where there's a shop. You can directly access the chapel. So you're going to have numerous shortcuts within the dungeon like I typically do, but then into the dungeon from outside you get a bunch of shortcuts. Yeah, she's been calling my feet this entire time. You would? Oh, that's what she did? Yeah, she keeps putting toys under here and calling my feet when she feels like it. Yeah. She's like that. Yes, that's a cat. Oh, God. Yep, you made it around. Good. Doesn't feel hot, does it? All right. Well, that'll probably pretty much. All right, I'm gonna be calling it here. Made a lot of progress. Actually started dipping pretty deep into the chapel area and filled in the majority of the central or main hall area. So level 9's coming along. Just to kind of show, so this is the chapel area here, and then this map is the main hall, and then you jump over here. This is the library. Haven't done anything on the top part because that's all long shot related, so I didn't bother touching it yet. This freaky looking situation is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maps. 7 maps, because I think these four are, they're all like the towers and the spire. I think these 4 is like floor 1 of the spire, and this is floor 2 of the spire, and then this is the east tower, this is the west tower, this is the northwest gate, southwest gate, southeast, northeast gate. I'm trying to be conservative with maps, considering I'm getting, like, as you can see, I'm on map 171, and there's only 255 in the game, or in the, like, that's what I am allotted. So I'm trying to be as efficient as I can now. But yeah, so you have library, all those, which I didn't touch yet. Then you saw these 2. And then here we have the armory. And then over here is the, I actually forgot what this is. This is the undercroft. So kind of like a storage area, sort of. But this is also how you get to the dungeon, which is right here. I don't really touch the dungeon too much. This map is the barracks. So yeah. I'll keep chugging away at this. Hopefully next time you guys see this, it will be by layout at least mostly done, if not done. So yeah, we'll see. But hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.